Hello, I'm Sam Pedersen, and I'm here to give you some mind-blowing epiphanies. So feast your eyes, your third eye, I mean, as I blow your mind. The word Mercedes has the letter E pronounced in 3 ways. Mercedes. Think about it. The word bed is unique because it looks like a bed. You see it? If you know how to spell the word socks, S-O-C-K-S, you're actually saying, it is what it is in Spanish. De nada. Remember in grammar, I before E, except when you run a feisty heist on a weird beige foreign neighbor. Then don't do I before E. The word homeowner has the word meow in it. Not sure if that's mind-blowing or not, but there's something there. Mind-blown. Slang is actually slang for short language. The word firefly is actually the opposite of waterfall. Think about it. When we go jogging, we wear special running clothes. That way people don't think we're being chased. Your stomach thinks all potatoes are mashed potatoes. It's weird how, in order to fall asleep, you have to pretend you're falling asleep. That's like the only time where fake it till you make it is a thing. Wrong is actually spelled wrong in the dictionary. It's a true fact. Mothers get 1 day out of the year, whereas sharks get an entire week. It's not very fair, but oh well.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Anthem.
Hey, everyone.
We are glad that you joined us again tonight on Anthem Live.
Anthem Live.
I know things seem a little different. You know, the world is changing and who knows what's up and what's down because we're on opposite sides of the table. Not because of a worldwide pandemic.
We were getting bored, so we had to mix it up.
Yeah, we're mixing it up.
Living on the edge.
It feels that way. But, you know, that's life.
It is life.
You know, we roll with it. Mm-hmm. And so we've been in quarantine or madness or whatever this is for 80 days. 80 days long. Well,
yeah,
things are slowly but surely heading up, I think.
Who knows?
But who really knows? So let's just get through it together.
Let's do it. Smile. Grin and bear it.
Grin and bear it. Okay. Let's give a pizza away as we grin and bear it. Are we going with that?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We are.
Let's give a pizza away. And your name is in the pizza picker if you participated in the chat last week. And if you left a comment pretty much at the same time, you know, your name would be in the chat. In the picker. But if not, no luck. You can't get a pizza because you have to participate in the chat.
Or you don't like us. I don't know.
Don't like pizza or don't like us. Those are the 2 options.
I'm offended either way.
Neither of which can be true, really. That's absurd to even say things like that. Okay, enough of our nonsense. Let's give a pizza away. We know that's why you're here. Okay? So here it goes. You'll see your name in here if you participated in the chat last week. And here we go. Eliana Anderson. Do you like being called Eliana? Probably not on the World Wide Webs. I'm sorry about that. Ellie, we're sending a pizza your way. So be looking for our delivery driver, Adam. And Adam, listen to me right now. Mm-hmm. I saw you last week. You were participating in the chat while you were driving. I saw you with my own 2 eyes. Don't you dare do that again. You understand me, son? Okay, sorry to call you out on the worldwide interwebs. Not cool. But thank you for delivering the pizza. And Ellie, congrats and thanks for chatting with us. So if you want to be in the pizza picker next week, make sure you are chatting it up. Yep. Right? Mm-hmm. So things are, again, a little weird and we're kind of sick of it, aren't we?
There's
Lynn's sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Quarantine stuff to make fun of or laugh about.
We just don't care.
It's not funny anymore.
About this stuff anymore. So we thought, what better thing to do to get back to normal? Because there are some things in this world that are still normal, right? There are some things that are true yesterday, today, and forever. Things that never change. And I know what you're thinking I'm going to say, but I'm not. You think I'm going to say God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, which is true.
Yes.
But what really is true as well is that cats are stupid.
Yeah.
Check this out. There you go. Cats being cats.
They are.
Makes you feel like things are all right with the world.
Yeah.
Watching cats be stupid.
That will solve everything.
That will solve everything. We just put cats on this problem. They'll screw everything so much up that it'll be back to normal.
Sure.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Let's not do that. Let's not put cats on it. That is a mistake.
Like Tim Hawkins. Bees.
Just bees. Bees. So, anyways, we are glad that you're with us tonight. We hope you enjoy the rest, and we will see you later.
Bye.
DJ,
Yeah.
are you up for a good riddle or two?
Oh, I reckon. Figure there's no choice in the matter.
I have 6 riddles for you. Okay? Like kind of brain teasers, but it's just like a question that maybe is difficult to answer, but there is an answer. Okay? So I have 6 of them. Are you ready for the first one? Okay. Name 3 consecutive days without using the words Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. If you know the answer, go ahead and put it in the comments.
3 consecutive
3
days.
consecutive days without saying one of those days.
3 consecutive days?
No, it's not quite that simple.
Oh,
it's actual.
dang it.
It's actual.
I
It's
got
3
this.
other. It's 3 days. You can't say those. Not sure? You give up on that one? Did you know that one?
You
Okay.
got me.
Say it in the comments because I'm going to tell you the answer. Okay, ready? 3 days in a row without saying those
Yeah.
names. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Huh?
I wasn't even
What do you think
going
about
there.
that? Okay, ready for the next
It
one?
wasn't as simple as I thought.
Now, DJ, you're known to be kind of a mathematician,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
DJ's actually really good at
Of an
math.
athlete.
Okay, he's a mathlete. So we're just going to do simple math, okay? Now, this is going to be kind of upside down for you. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah.
So they can see it.
Yeah.
You're just going to add these up, okay?
All right.
It's simple math. You just add them up and give me the answer.
All right.
So what do you got there?
1,000. 1,040.
Yep,
2,040.
yep,
2,070.
yeah,
3,070.
yeah,
3,090.
right,
4,090.
yeah.
4,100.
Ah! Most people say 5,000.
I almost went
You almost
there.
said 5,000?
Almost.
Did
I
you say
thought-
5,000? Because it just seems like a natural, like,
Yeah, it was. Like
70,
at first I was
80,
about ready
90,
to, yeah.
5,000.
I about did it.
Yeah. Okay, so you got that one. Okay, here's the next one. Are you ready? April's mom has... No, that's not right. Okay, scrap that. Terrible one. Okay? Now I've confused myself.
It's making you think.
We may or may not come back to that ever. Okay, how about this one? What belongs to you, but other people use more often than you do? What belongs to you, but other people use more than you do? Come on, think about this. What belongs to you that other people use more than you do? Your name. That's a hard one,
Yeah, I
huh?
wasn't-
Because you're immediately thinking of objects or
Yep,
something like that.
I was
What
going
do I
object
own?
route. Dang.
Your name. Kind of feel bad. I kind of sprung this on DJ. He didn't know he was going to do this today. Okay, here's the next one, DJ. You see this?
Yeah.
Okay. Circle, dot in the middle. Okay. A circle with the dot in the middle. Now I'm going to give you a piece of paper and a pen. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to make this a circle with a dot in the middle without picking up your pen. Okay? Without picking up your pen, you have to make a circle with a dot in the middle. How are you going to do it? You know how? Get a piece of paper out. Try to do this. Hurry, real quick.
Gather your supplies.
Circle the dot in the middle without picking up your pen. It's kind of tricky. Do you even have an attempt? Do you even have a try?
I mean, the only thing I can think is this is a marker, not a pen.
Huh? No.
I don't
That's not
know.
it.
I was like, it's not a pen.
I didn't pick up a pen. I picked up a marker, though.
Hey,
No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, give it a go. Just put the pen on the paper and make it happen.
Okay.
Come on. What do you got?
Well, circle the
Without
bottom
picking
there.
up the pen. Okay. Oh, you picked up the pen.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you this.
That was really
You're gonna think I'm so smart, but I didn't come up with this. Obviously. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
Oh, what do you think about that?
Tricky. That's mind blown.
Is that a mind blown one?
That's-
Oh, whatever, DJ. Okay, I have a couple more for you. Sarah's mom has 4 children.
Okay.
April, May, June. What's the 4th child's name?
July.
It's not July. Okay, think about it again. You got this one. Sarah's mom has 4 children.
Yeah.
April, May, June. What's the 4th child's name? You know this one? I'll say it slower.
Okay.
Sarah's mom has 4 children.
Yeah.
April, May, June. What's the 4th?
Sarah.
There it is.
Jeez. Sarah's mom. God.
Sarah's mom. Okay, you got one. Good.
You instantly go in the water.
Okay, the last one. Another math one. You're good at math. Okay.
Bring it.
See this? 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 550.
Okay.
Obviously, that's not correct.
No.
You can make one mark to make this correct. One line, I should say. One line to make this correct. What are you going to do? There's actually 2 options. I think there are 2 options to make this correct. 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 550. You know what it is? I was talking to the people out there,
I was gonna
DJ.
say, if you're asking me, I'm
There's no one out there. I'm just talking to the
still
people.
thinking.
The people.
Only one change.
You can face it your way to look at it if you need to. You can make one change. Well, not a change, but you can add one line. You can make one line on the piece of paper to make it correct. You got any guesses? You have any thoughts? Oh, here we go, people. Can you do it so they can see it? Will it mess you up?
Make that a 4.
545 plus 5 equals 550.
Got it.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, shoot, the corona. I'll have to sanitize that. Good work, Douglas. You once again impress us with your math acumen.
Mathlete.
Hope you guys did as well. Thanks for joining the Riddle Doug section of the night. See ya.
Stump the dog.
Stump the Doug.
Morning, Carl.
Andy, thought you were working from home today.
Nope, I've got to get some stuff done.
Oh, I just thought all non-essential personnel were working from home.
Ouch, well, that seems a little harsh. What are you doing, by the way?
I'm prepping.
Prepping for what?
The virus, you fool. It's spreading more than ever.
Okay, well, just calm down. They told us not to panic.
Not to panic? That's exactly what they say when you're supposed to panic.
I don't think that's true.
If you're not supposed to panic, why are they calling it a panicdemic?
You mean pandemic?
No, Andy. That's a lunch meat.
Okay, listen, either way, I think you're overreacting.
How so?
Yeah, we're supposed to take precautions, but we're supposed to remain calm. Now, Carl, those are allergies. I'm not sick. Don't. Put it down. Listen, I don't want you taking this too far.
What were you saying?
Nothing.
Listen, Andy, if you read what I read this morning, you'd be scared too.
What did you read? I mean, what one-sided, unreliable source did you read from this morning, Carl?
It's called the Bible.
Oh, I didn't mean...
Oh, I bet you didn't. James 4:8, wash your hands, you sinners.
Carl, that's not...
You ain't doing this again. There's a no special meaning, no gray area. It says it as pure as day. Wash your hands, you sinners. From now on, this is all I'm doing. If I'm not constantly washing my hands and staying clean, I'm not obeying God.
Carl, I'd hate to bust your nonsensical bubble right now, but that passage is way more deeper than that.
You're telling me I'm taking this out of context?
Yes, absolutely. See, Carl, this passage has nothing to do with washing our physical hands. All it's about is pursuing God and God alone. It's about turning away from our sinful desires and only pursuing Him.
Wow. I guess context is super important.
Yep.
I guess that means I never have to wash my hands again.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You still need to wash your hands and be a decent human being.
I think I heard you loud and clear.
Please don't.
Thank you, Andy. Everything that you do. It's so special. Every single bit, all your knowledge of Scripture, it's the best. I love it. I love you. I love everything about you. You are truly an amazing man, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do to protect you. I'm gonna protect you from everything. This virus, it doesn't have anything on us. We can defeat it together. All right? All right.
So, when you don't know how to do something, how to fix something, or how something works, what do? Ask a teacher? Ask your parents? Ask your friends? Ask someone you really know and trust? No! You go to the internet and ask some randos. But I'm not talking about creeps here, I hope. No, I mean the people of the internet! You know, those people who make how-to videos. Because chances are, if you're trying to figure out something, someone on the internet has already figured it out for you. Things like, how do I unsend a text? No. How do I do a winged eyeliner? How do I get rid of the zit by Friday night? How do I get out of gym class? How do I screen cap Snapchat without getting caught? But then there are things in life that don't have an easy fix, that don't have a simple solution, that don't have a how-to video. Things like what to do when you have problems with family, or when it seems like you have no control in your life, or what to do when someone has done something to you. I mean, clearly, they gotta go. The truth is, there's a lot of life that doesn't have a solution you can just find online. So how do you know what to do when you don't know what to do?
What are some of your favorite all-time movies? I'm going to give you a second. Go ahead and put them in the comments right now, okay? Write them in the chat. What are some of your favorite all-time movies or stories, a book that you read? Tell us what they are in the chat right now, okay? Right now. Did you do it? I'm not going to wait all night. Okay, I'm just going to assume that you put those in the chat. You know, we all have a favorite movie or a favorite TV show or even a book for those of you that read books, which would not include me. But you know, we love these movies or TV shows or books because we usually find ourselves connected to the main character. And a lot of times authors or producers, they create this character that really we can relate to and we really love and become just attached to, because they tell us like deep parts of their life. The good parts, obviously like the highlights of the story in their life, but it also tells us the dark parts or the bad parts. You see, we sometimes see the backstory of these characters that make it so good. Don't you just hate it when like you end a series that you've been binging on Netflix or whatever, and like it's almost like you're like losing a friend because you're no longer gonna be getting to see the life that this character has. It's over now, and you have to kind of grieve that. You know, we get really attached to these characters because, you know, we find a connection in the good and the bad of their lives. Let me give you just an example. So two of my favorite movies are Gladiator and Remember the Titans. So in Gladiator, you know, the movie starts with Maximus in this battle in this war, and he goes back to his wife, and his wife and kids had been murdered. Well, he quickly gets thrown into the slave trade, and he gets forced to be a gladiator, and he has to fight different people and different animals even, and this like as an entertainment thing in Rome. And he eventually gets revenge against the people that did that to his family. But you endeared to him because he was motivated by his love for his family that had been taken from him. I get tied to this story of Remember the Titans because the story obviously is historical, and it is an accurate depiction of real life events. But it paints the picture of Herman Boone, the coach of the Titans, and how he went through adversity, and people didn't want him there because of his race, and it was during this whole time of the race riots and just like this terrible time in American history. And yet they find unity, and they encourage one another, and they come together as a team, and they start to win football games, and they win a state championship. And it's just a really cool story. But we love it because we know the character. We know the good and the bad in their lives. We can relate to that because we have good and bad in our lives as well. The backstory helps us connect with people. We've had difficult things in our lives. If you haven't yet, you will. I know that's real encouraging, right? If you haven't had difficult things happen, you will. But that just really is a time for God to strengthen us, right? As we endure through that. But it doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make those things like not a problem. See, we're at the beginning of our story, especially as a teenager. You're at the beginning of the story. So right now, the difficult things you're going through, that's just a part of the backstory. Like you don't know what the highlight might be in your life and how God is going to use you. But really, I want you to understand that difficulties are difficult. Hardships are hard. Hurts hurt, right? You're going to face these difficult things, and they're rough, and they're a part of our story, and they happen right now, and it's very real to us. So for the past few weeks, we've been wrestling with this question of what do you do when you don't know what to do? And tonight we're going to be talking about things about what do I do when people make fun of you? What do I do when a friend dies? What do I do when your learning disability makes things so difficult for you? What do I do when my parents' divorce is just killing me? What do I do when your self-harm habit gets out of control? What do I do when someone you love gets really sick? These things are tough. These are the real life, really difficult situations. But before we can ask the question of what do I do, a lot of times we ask the question of why. Like, why is this happening? Why am I going through this? Why is this happening now to me?
Why is this happening to me?
It's okay, bud. It's just from the medicine. Okay?
Is this going to be forever?
Sometimes in a movie, they'll have flashback scenes during the middle of the movie, and sometimes they don't even really make sense of what just happened, or why are we here, or why are we learning about this part of his life. That happens to us in real life too. Sometimes we're in the middle of a difficult time, and we're like, why is this happening? This doesn't really make sense. What's going on? See, it's a part of our backstory that we just don't know what God's going to do yet. Maybe you have a broken friendship, and you look back and you look at that time of your life where you really didn't like who you were, and the decisions you made weren't good. But now, because you've made it through that difficult time, you've seen how it's developed you and it's helped you grow as a person, and you wouldn't trade that time for anything because of the person it made you become. Sometimes we don't see the point of the difficulty when we're in it. And sometimes we do. Sometimes we're going through something difficult and we realize it's our own fault, and we can learn from it right in the moment. What if you're in band and you find yourself struggling, and really it's because you're not putting in the effort, and your section leader called you out, and maybe it really kind of sparked something in you, and you started practicing more, and you started working harder, and you got better, and you got back into the groove of things. You saw the difficulty that was right before you, and it made you adapt, and you got better right there. Sometimes we have that concise picture of this difficult time leading to something good. But sometimes it's a lot longer story. something you're going through right now that's hard for you, you might not have any idea how it's going to shape you in the future. See, it's nice when those things happen where you can see why you're struggling. You can see the purpose behind the pain, but sometimes you can't. And it just feels like the hurt you're going through is just pointless, and you just wish it was over. You know, what's worse, in real life, unlike the movies, our difficult circumstances don't usually get tied up in a pretty little bow and it gets, set inside this movie where you see the end, very quickly. And the outcome might not be exactly how we want it to be. And those times can be really difficult for us when we don't see the point in our pain. And we don't seem to find any hope in the despair, and we don't even know if we have the strength to keep fighting through the difficulties. But when we find life confusing or difficult or hard, we can always turn to Scripture and find something to encourage us. And we're in this series right now of what do I do when I don't know what to do? And the story of Joseph is going to help us today. So we're going to get back into it. So let me just give you the recap. Okay, we've been in this for 3 weeks, and so this is the 4th week of our series, really over the life of Joseph. So let me give you kind of the recap of where we've been, okay? So first week we talked about Joseph being the favorite brother, and it really causing some discord and disunity in his family, and his brothers hated him. Second week, they threw him into a pit, left him for dead. Instead of killing him, they thought, let's just sell him into slavery. Okay, so he was the favorite child, and now he's thrown into a pit, and now he's sold into slavery. And he was shipped off to Egypt, and now he works for a high-powered official in Egypt. And then he was falsely accused of doing something that he did not do, and he was thrown into prison. Okay, so he went from a free man to a slave to a prisoner, okay? So if anyone had earned the right to say, why is this happening to me? What is going on? What is the point of all of this? It was Joseph. Okay, so that's where we're going to pick up. So Joseph's in jail for a crime he didn't commit, and he makes some friends in jail. And check out what this says right here in Genesis 41-3. It says this: sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their master, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his 2 officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the same prison where Joseph was confined. So Pharaoh is the boss of all of Egypt, right? So if he got mad at you, if he just didn't want to see your face anymore, even if you hadn't really done anything wrong, he could just throw you into prison. So that's what happened with these 2 guys. So they were in prison with Joseph, and here's how the story continues. It says, after they had been in custody for some time, each of the 2 men, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were being held in prison, had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. When Joseph came to them the next morning, he saw that they were dejected. So he asked Pharaoh's officials, who were in custody of him in his master's house, why do they look so sad? We both had dreams, they answered, but there's no one to interpret them. Then Joseph said to them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams. Okay, so a lot is happening here, right? So remember, Joseph's in prison for a crime he did not commit, and he's bumped into these 2 strangers that have now become friends, and it's a difficult situation. And yet, Joseph continues to honor God by saying, these interpretations, aren't these dreams from God? Let me help you. So he's still honoring God. So these men told Joseph their dreams, and Joseph was able to interpret them. Okay, and so essentially, the cupbearer had a dream that Joseph interpreted that things were going to turn out all right for him, and he's going to regain favor in the king's eyes, and that's exactly what happened. Now, the baker, on the other hand, had a dream that Joseph interpreted that things were not going to turn out so well, and he would eventually end up dead, and that's exactly what happened. So Joseph had given this great advice to the cupbearer, and the cupbearer ended up getting out of prison. He went back to work for Pharaoh. And before he left, Joseph said, hey, don't forget me when you're out there. If you could give a good word to the Pharaoh, get me out of this place. I'm here for no reason. I've been wrongly accused. And so he went on his way, and the baker got back into normal life. And guess what? He completely forgot about Joseph. How do you think that made Joseph feel? He's probably just waiting there in prison like, man, any day now they're going to let me out. Any day now. I mean, I did a great thing for this cupbearer, and I'm sure he's not going to forget what I did for him, and things turned out great. He completely forgot. And the Bible actually says that 2 years went by. So 2 years went by, and then the Pharaoh had some dreams that no one could interpret. All the people he brought in, all the experts, all of the wizards at the time or whatever, right? He brought in all these people to interpret these dreams, and no one could interpret them. And then you know what? A light bulb went off in the cupbearer's mind. Oh, shoot. I totally forgot. I was supposed to tell the Pharaoh about Joseph. Have you ever had that moment where something comes up that you were supposed to do like weeks ago or months ago, and you're like, oh, I totally forgot. You know, that happens to me far too often, unfortunately. Sorry, Linz. But he remembers Joseph. Oh yeah, Joseph, 2 years ago, he interpreted a dream correctly. Now look at my life. And then he tells the Pharaoh, I have just the man for you. His name is Joseph. He is in prison, and he's not there because of anything he did wrong. He was falsely accused. He shouldn't be there. And so the Pharaoh got him out of prison, and Pharaoh asked Joseph to tell me what these dreams mean. And so Joseph correctly interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, and Pharaoh was so impressed and just was so thankful that he did that. He just trusted Joseph. You know, we saw that in Joseph's life with Potiphar as well, that everything Joseph did, the Lord was with him, and he was successful, and he just did great things for anyone that was around him. And so the same thing kind of happened when he had a relationship with the Pharaoh, that things just went so well. Like Joseph was a very capable leader, and God was with him. And so things just were very successful with anything that he did. So ultimately, the Pharaoh looked at him with such, joy and pride and gave him honor. And he became the second most powerful person in Egypt. And in fact, it was because of Joseph that he saved the entire nation of Egypt from famine, from death. And even more than that, they had so much left over from the way that he saved back grains that he not only saved Egypt, but he was able to save his own people and his family as well. Those difficult circumstances, while they were really tough at the time, being thrown into a pit, being sold by your brothers, being sold into slavery, and then becoming a servant, and then becoming falsely accused and thrown into prison and forgotten for years. Those are really difficult things. I just imagine that. Like, we've never faced anything like that. But those problems really positioned him to make a great impact in the world and for the people that were around him. They positioned him to do something that only he could do. The same is true for you and me. The hard things that can happen in life, it's just so important for us to remember that just because something happens to you, it doesn't mean that God isn't with you, or that God was doing this to you, or God was trying to punish you. I think so often we have this terrible mindset that God is up there trying to punish us. It's just not the case. God loves us. Now, he allows things to happen in our world. He allows us to go through some difficult things. And that's a big theological discussion that we can have about why does God allow some things and not others. But God can use things to help us. And here's a verse that really helps me, and I hope it helps you too. It's Romans 8:28. It says this, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. So this doesn't necessarily mean that it just all things will be perfect and be better and God's doing all the work and we won't ever go through hard times. That's not the case. But when we do face difficult things and when they don't make sense, God is in the business of taking our hurt, taking our difficulties, taking our pain and redeeming them and using them for good to build us up and to affirm us and encourage us and spur us on to doing good for others, right? To position us to help others, to use the bad, what was intended for evil, and make it good. In other words, when you don't know what to do, remember that your problems can position you for a purpose. Let me say that again. When you don't know what to do, remember that your problems can position you for a purpose. Now, that doesn't mean we can tie a pretty bow on every difficult thing and say it was because of this that happened, and because of this I became the superhero that saved the world. Because of this hardship I became the winning coach of a state football championship team, like some of the movies portray. But if we would have the perspective to say, this difficult thing I'm going through right now is a part of my backstory, and it's really going to help me grow into the person God wants me to be, and it's going to uniquely position me to find a place to use this pain for purpose. Sometimes the hardest and worst things we experience, they aren't the end of the story. In fact, they could be a part of something much more. So I think there's a few things that we need to apply to our lives that this perspective can really help us. Okay, here's one thing that I think if we have this bigger perspective can really help us in our lives. Remember that no one else has your life story. Your difficult circumstances aren't fun. They wouldn't be called difficult if they were fun. The hardships you face, the struggles that you have to go through, they're not fun. But think about it this way. They're unique to you. God allows things for you to go through, to strengthen you, to position you for a specific purpose that he's called you to. No one else, just you. He knows exactly what you need to be the person he's called you to be. Just remember that, no one else has your life story. God has a plan and a purpose for you. And while we remember that, also remember that your story can interact with others. So while I just said that your story is unique, in the same way, we have all gone through difficult things. Maybe not at the same time, maybe not the exact same way, but God can use the things that I have gone through to help you. And God can use the things that you have gone through to help someone else. I think we need to look at the perspective of, man, I'm going through something difficult right now. I'm going through something hard. I don't necessarily even know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to use what God is allowing to happen in my life to help someone else out in the future. When you've gone through some difficult family drama or a split up from your parents or something that's just really been rough and you've made it through the other side, you can use that story. You can use how God has redeemed that situation to help someone behind you that's going through it right now. When you go through a difficult breakup as a high schooler or even older in college and you're just really struggling in relationships, you can use that to help someone who's struggling right now. When you deal with sickness or illness or an injury, you can encourage someone in the future who's going through that right now. When you have big doubts and struggles with your faith, questions that you have seemed to wrestle with for years, when you work through that and when you come out on the other side of that difficult time in your faith, you can use those struggles, you can use those doubts, you can use those questions to help someone else who's struggling right now. That's how God uses the pain to position us for purpose. You see, that's one of the biggest reasons why we just love life groups. And if you're not a part of one, man, this next fall, you need to join a life group because it's a way that we can position people around you in your life, teenagers that are going through similar things that you are, and you can encourage each other. And then we place a caring adult or two in your group who have gone through those things because guess what? They've been a teenager too. They've gone through difficult things too. And now they can use that and are so willing to use that to bless you, to encourage you, to help you through, to give you wisdom, to give you advice. It's just so crucial that you have someone in your life that can help you through difficult things because they did. And then as you work your way through a difficult thing, you can use that same wisdom that you've gained, that same growth that you've achieved through that difficulty to bless someone else. You see, Joseph went through this pain that I'm sure at that time felt so pointless. But when we see his backstory, we see that if it wasn't for those problems, and if it wasn't for that pain and difficulty, he couldn't have been positioned to achieve the incredible purpose that God had for him of saving a whole nation of people from famine. God used that pain And he used that difficulty to position him for purpose. I just want you to remember that I know you might be going through something difficult. You might be really struggling with this pandemic, and just maybe you're incredibly lonely right now. Maybe you're struggling with depression. Maybe you feel like you have no friends. Maybe something is going on in your family relationship. Maybe you are struggling with school or decisions in the future. Whatever it is that you're going through, just know that God can use what you're going through to position you for a great purpose that he has for you. He's got a plan. He loves you and cares for you. So look at it with a different perspective. Say, how can I use this to glorify God? And how can I use this difficulty to help someone else? Let's have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for who you are. God, we thank you for this story that really encourages me to know that no matter the difficulty I face, no matter the problems that come in my life or the hardships that I have to go through, that ultimately you can redeem those things. That while it's not fun to go through, you can use them to strengthen me and encourage me, and then in turn I can use them to bless others and encourage them and give them wisdom and insight and encourage them as well. So God, I just thank you for those things. It feels weird maybe even to thank you for allowing me to go through difficult things, but I know without them, I might not be the person that I am today. And without those difficult things, I might not be able to impact the people that you've allowed me to. And so God, I just thank you for the way you've formed my life and the things that you've allowed me to go through. And I thank you for being with me through it all. God, I just pray for our teens right now as they, many of them may be facing really difficult things or they just have been struggling with some things. God, I pray that you just encourage them. God, give them the understanding, give them the perspective that what they're going through can be used for you and for your glory. God, we want to give you honor. We want to give you praise today because of the things that you're doing, the things that you'll continue to do. God, we're so thankful for who you are. You're the same yesterday, today, and forever. And God, we're just excited to be a part of your mission and your kingdom. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Hey guys, we are just incredibly excited to be able to get back together soon. I can't wait. We're looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. How much lower can I go, though? How low can you go? How low can you go? How low can you go?
Not low.
I got
knee problems.
Let's see, was this like skating rinks where they did a limbo?
Yeah.
Were you ever good at the limbo?
Oh, I'm not good at the limbo without skates on.
I can't bend backwards. How do people bend backwards like that?
Some people have been blessed with
lower back flexibility? ain't in my gene pool. I start leaning back, I fall down.
That can go like on the floor.
Not sure what the problem is. What the problem be? Oh, say something. Sing something.
I'm not gonna sing anything.
Like even when you were yelling like you normally do, yelling at me, just kidding. You barely are getting to where I'm talking. I usually have this one. That's stuck in. Oh, you clipped it. I thought it just like got nuzzled. Oh, honey.
Nuzzled?
Is that right?
Nestled?
Nestled?
It just
Nuzzled.
Just got nuzzled in my beard.
Testing, yeah, oh yeah. Something has worked out well here. We done good. How many days? Last time was?
Oh, 30 days.
Don't say freaking. I can't use that in the loopers.
Freaking.
I'm using that.
1, 7, 8, 9.
Are you counting
10,
weeks?
11 weeks. 77, 78, 79, 80.
80 days?
Wow.
Let's do it, partner. That's weird. I do stick shift. There's a new pandemic. It's called plastic water bottles. It's killing the environment. Anyone talking about that? No.
Make an agenda for this.
I'm sure somebody's talking about it.
Yeah, our sponsors asked us to, turn it into a political direction. Like, okay, dude, what's the song?
We're definitely not using that.
What's the song?
What song?
It's in your head.
But
Oh gosh, there's so many of them.
Oh yeah. Bum bum bum.
Yeah.
How you like that, Dan? Are you ready, honey? I'm gonna try not to karate chop the camera today. Hey, Anthem. Here we go. 3, 2. Well, you're not even smiling. Let's put a smile on because we have to, even though our true feelings are like this. Grass isn't always greener on the other side. Grass is green where you water it. Oh, that's a terrible sound. Okay. Every good movie is featuring a man in the woods with a dog.
You're good.
You dang right we're good.
Scooch.
It's Gucci, fam. Okay. DJ, you count us down this time.
What?
Like a director. You know how you do it? Like 3, 2.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Oh, what is it? Hey, Anthem. Wow, I blanked there.
What is it?
This switching sides has really messed me up.
Line.
Line.
Cue cards.
Where's the teleprompter? He'll read anything on the prompter. Who put the question mark there? I'm Ron Burgundy.
Baxter.
The bad man punted Baxter. He threw his burrito out the window. And
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Oh, I believe in you. I believe in you. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Anthem.
Hey, everyone.
I just pointed at him. 2, 1. Oh, I about did it again. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm so sorry. I hit my elbow again. I hit my elbow this morning and I just hit it again. Hey, Anthem.
Hey, everyone.
We're glad you are joining us again tonight on Anthem Live.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
I don't know. It just felt so awkward.
Well, that's good because I kind of did a weird like, hey, Anthem.
Yeah,
My hands weren't on my, but now they're up here.
My eyes won't stop crying.
Hand
they're
check.
just crying. Ugh.
1. My hands are in my lap again. I don't like it. 3, 2, 1. Oh man, we aren't ready.
I wasn't done laughing about
Okay,
that
finish it up.
stupidness.
3, 2, 1. Hey, Anthem. I almost said, hey, DJ.
Hey, DJ.
Hey, DJ.
Hey.
Remind the camera, he says, hey. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Anthem.
Hey, everyone.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. 3, 2. Sorry, I've got myself the giggles, and now Lindsay's getting the angers. That's the opposite of the giggles, right? Here we go. Burning with anger. 3, 2, whoa, 1. Do you see that? I know. Is that about me? I don't know why she rolled her eyes about me.
Before we start to record, you're
Do
like,
my hand thing. But if I count, you need to be ready. This is part of the creative process. Every
you
actor
said
has
last
one.
time doing your hand thing and all that was making you laugh. So, anyways, go ahead.
Hey, Anthem.
Hey, everyone.
Did it again.
Why?
Here we go. 3, 2. I know. Oh, I'm opening the pages of the book. Listen here, children. It's story time. Okay, I won't do that again. Well, I might. Who knows?
Cross your arms.
3, 2, 1. Hey, Anthem.